So to drain coolant, all we need is a 10mm wrench, socket, whatever, and the bucket. So all we're gonna do is on the water pump there is a 10mm. All the other ones are 8mm, so 10mm is easy to tell apart. Gonna loosen that. That one was spectacularly tight. And open it. Now I still have the cookie sheet underneath, so I'm not too worried about drips. But if you're doing this, on a nicer floor or somewhere where you don't want to pour coolant all over the place, you do want to get something underneath, just because not all of it ends up in the bucket. So now you notice there's barely a trickle. When I open the radiator cap, however, we're going to get a stream. So radiator cap is off. Some radiator caps have a little Phillips lock nut, so you may need to remove that first. This one does not. And then you just sit there for a while waiting for all the coolant to drain. You can also help it a little bit by pumping the hoses. And depending on how thorough you want to be, this could be a really long time because it's down to a trickle right now. Or you could just close it up now, because the little bit that you're going to get over the extended period of time isn't going to make any real difference in a coolant swap. So I'm going to close it up because I don't feel like waiting. And then, like I mentioned, even though I had the bucket, there's still plenty of drops on the cookie sheet. So first thing, make sure the drain plug is actually tight. Good and tight. Then open up the radiator cap. Well, it would have already been open because we drained the system. Grab a funnel. Doesn't have to be giant. Just happens to be giant in my case. Let me step back a bit with the camera. And just pour in your coolant until you start getting drips. Well, it's going to be more like a stream. It may also help to lift up the funnel so that air can get in and out. So, when you have a stream of water coming out, you're not done yet. While it's full right now, it won't be full after you burp it. So get the funnel out of the way and pump on the hoses. Just squeeze the hoses to make sure their air is burped out of the system. It's on this side, then another one on the other side. So burp, fill, Burp again. This is why I said use a cookie sheet. There's big wet mess everywhere. Even with the cookie sheet. It's just water, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, you have water all the way to the top of the neck. So then you can put the cap on, and if it's one of the caps that has a lock screw, this doesn't happen to be one, but if it's one of the caps that takes a lock screw, then use the tiny Phillips to set the lock screw. So now the next two steps for coolant is to run the bike just for a couple of seconds, let the water circulate, and then check it and top it off again. And then the other thing to do is take a look at your reservoir. So, if you are the kind of person who likes to follow directions from maybe something like the service manual, the next steps would be to fill up the overflow reservoir to between the full and the low. So in order to do that, I am going to lift the tank. I think I've done videos on how to lift the tank on these bikes. If not, it's trivial. After you've lifted the tank, you should see the overflow reservoir cap. On second gens it's over here. On first gens it will actually be on the other side. So pull that out, put your funnel into it, and then pour in slowly so that the coolant ends up between full and low. This might be kind of hard to see. But you can kind of see where the line is. For me, I went 3/4 full. It doesn't really matter. On street coolants, it'll be easier because they'll be green, so you'll be able to see them easier. With this pink water and wetter, it's kind of hard to see in the reservoir. So stick a flashlight behind it. That gives you the option to see what's going on. So that's setting coolant level. Oh yes, don't forget to put the cap back in. Otherwise, you'll be chasing leaks for a long time. I'm not wearing a tracksuit, but I will squat. So if you want to see more of these videos, hit like, subscribe, all that happy stuff. Also, let me know if I can do a video of something for you guys. I don't make these for me, I make them for you, because if I can make a video of it, I already know how to do it. I don't need a video. So if you have an idea for a video, hit me up in the comments, Facebook, Reddit, SV Rider, whatever. Also, please do hit the like and subscribe thing if you want to see more.